There's nothing like some public pressure. I knit this up in just under 2 weeks. Hi friends! Welcome back to my channel Annijuuti Knits. If this is your first time, my name is Anniina and I'm a knitwear designer based on the west coast of Finland, and this is my channel where I talk about my knitting, my designs, my upcoming patterns, but I also talk about what it is to be like a knitwear designer or a full-time knitwear designer. So if this sounds interesting to you, let's start with today's episode. First things first, let's get the housekeeping out of the way. The title told you that, and I am wearing it. So the Shadow Lines sweater is finally out and available, and wow, it has been a long ride, but I'm so pleased that it is now done. And yeah, you can grab a copy of the pattern if you want to use a cheeky little discount. You can use the code Happy Release, all in caps, and get 15% off until Monday 27th. So if you are watching this before Monday 27th of October, you can grab the pattern with a 15% discount, and remember to use the code Happy Release, because otherwise you won't be getting the discount. So that's the most important thing out of the way. But I think we should talk about the making of the Shadow Lines sweater, and this time the one that I am wearing today. So this is now my third sample. Originally, if you are not new to this channel, you have heard about the Shadow Lines multiple times because it's been, like I said, a long ride. The first one I made I think in April, if I'm not mistaken. It was springtime and I wanted something stripy and something fun. I had 3 special skeins that I wanted to use, and that's how the Shadow Lines got born. And I wasn't really happy with I loved the overall design of the Shadow Lines, the first iteration, but I wasn't happy with the shoulder fit. So I did tweak a little bit. I added a bit more rows to the front shoulder. So that's why I needed a second V neck version, because this pattern comes in 2 neckline options, a round neck and a V-neck, and I will be putting pictures here while I talk just for the visuals for you to see. But yeah, so I needed a second sample in this V-neck version, and I was happy to be able to get some yarn as to design with. So the half of this yarn, so the fluff I already had at home, but then I messaged the yarn dyer and asked if she would like to gift me the yarns to go with it. So we met up in the summer at Jyväskylä Knit Fest, and I got to choose some contrasting colors, and I'm so pleased with this color palette. And so this is, the yarn was half gifted, so I will be putting the includes paid promotion into this video, because that was received for this sweater. My original sample was made with single ply merino fingering weight held with silk mohair, but this second V-neck version was made with, it is technically fingering weight, but it was I will put the details about the yarn here. So it's Laurel Knits Silky PFL or something along those lines. And it runs a little bit less in 100 grams. So it runs 300 meters in 100 grams. So it's a little bit thicker, but I don't think it's, the yarn itself, it's not very much thicker. It's just, I think, the silk that makes it heavier, and therefore it is a little bit lower meterage or yardage in the skein. And I held it with her Udu, which is the baby suri alpaca and silk, which is lovely and soft and not so like it doesn't lose fluff as much as silk mohair does. So very lovely to work with, a beautiful, beautiful soft halo, and it's a dream to wear. It's like wearing a cloud. And the fun in this pattern is the changing of yarns. Some of my testers did use just one color, and that looks also stunning. But the original idea was to use 3 special skeins or 2 colors alternating between those 2 and have a stripy moment. So I did make the black and white version. I'll add a picture of it here, and that was just your classic black and white combination, and I think it's so striking in a good way. And I think the little texture between the stripes, it adds some interest, and it also adds a dimension to the striping sequence. So yeah, shadow lines. And I did make this one stripe shorter. That's because in my first sample I had all the ribbings in different color. I had 3 skeins and I didn't want to run out, so I was using whichever I had the most of. And when I made this one, I had 2 skeins of the gray one because, yeah, like I said, it is a little bit lower meterage in one skein, so I didn't want to run out. And actually I did end up using from the last skein, I think I used like 25 grams. So in total, my main color, the fingering weight, it took 360 meters of the main color in this version. This is size 5. And I used 80 grams or 240 meters of each of these, the white and the lavender color. So my testers, the ones that were using mohair and fingering weight yarns held together, until size 6, you can, if you are willing to alternate between the colors for the ribbings, you can actually use 3 skeins, and that is sufficient until the size 6. Of course, if you are adding length or something like that, then you would be needing a little bit more. But just for you to know, my yardage estimates, they give you a larger amount, but that is because it's divided between colors and I wanted to have a little buffer. So 3 skeins should be enough until size 6, but if you want to make sure, have 2 skeins of one color and then 2 contrasting colors, and you'll be fine. It's, yeah, everyone used a different version. Someone made all the stripes in different colors, someone used just 2 colors, someone used 3, someone 4. So yeah, but this is such a fun scrap buster, or those special skeins that you are holding on to. This is a perfect way to showcase them and let them shine. And when you are striping, then you don't need to cut the yarns or alternate yarns if you are using hand dyed. So I think it was a very fun process. Of course, there are a lot of ends to weave in, and if you're not a fan of that, maybe this pattern is not for you. This construction is started from the back panel, and you work the shoulder slants with increases, and then you work flat, you pick up for the front shoulders, you work one shoulder at a time, and then connect after the neckline, and then some shaping under the arms and join in the round, and then it's smooth sailing. There is some short rows in the sleeve. You probably can see that it is it's taller here and then shorter here, and that's to bring the shoulders down or bring the sleeve into a downward position. So yeah. As I stated in the beginning, 2 weeks ago I still didn't have anything for this sweater. I had started it, I had cast on for the back panel, but that was it. And I was like, I'm supposed to release this pattern in 2 weeks and I still don't have a sweater for the pictures. And I decided to give myself some public pressure, because I know I'm such a procrastinator. Like I'm the queen of procrastination. And if I don't have a deadline, I'm not working. So yeah, I wanted to have this public announcement that I will be sharing a picture every day. Maybe I'll put the little clips here that I took so you can see. I was working on it maybe like an hour and a half per day. So it wasn't all my crafting time, but when there's something that you need to do, it gets a little bit less fun. And towards the end, when I was seeing the end already, I was seeing the finish line, then I was like, okay, now, like it motivated me, and I think I worked the last sleeve in my last day. So yeah, it was a fun little experiment, and because this is a 17 stitch gauge and I didn't make my body very long, this is I think 33 centimeters, so it's one stripe shorter than recommended in the pattern. I don't think it takes too much time. It's quite a loose gauge, and I needed to have some time to block it and get it ready. So I finished on Tuesday. Today is Thursday, and when you are watching this, it's earliest Friday, because Friday is the release day for this, and I will be posting this video once the pattern is out. But yeah, a fun little experiment. Usually I'm not a one who makes these sweaters in such a short amount of time, and that's also because I am usually size 5, size 6 in my patterns, and my full bust measurement is 115 centimeters, or depends on the day, but the most recent measurement was 115. So I always need to have a little bit more fabric, and that's just, it takes time. But it was a good exercise, and I am really happy that I got to push myself to make this, and yeah, to take pictures, which was proven actually quite difficult. I've been checking the weather this week, and I was like, okay, Thursday, perfect, no rain, like semi-cloudy, but still like dry and nice. And I woke up this morning when the rain was dancing on the windows, and I was like, okay, that's a little bit difficult for taking some pictures, but what can you do? Pictures that should have taken me 20 minutes to take, I think I spent hour and 20 minutes, and I still barely got any pictures that I can use. But we can always take some new pictures and add them later to Ravelry. But this is what we are now forced to use, and this is what we are dealing with today. But we cannot dictate the weather, so we take what we get. This was my only finished object for today, because like I said, I've been almost only working on this for the last 2 weeks. But I did bring 2 other garments here, and one accessory project that I started yesterday. And I think I'm gonna start with my Lovi Slipover. I did already finish this once, but I ripped it out a little bit, and I will tell you now why. So this is my Lovi Slipover. It's this white rib texture, just your regular or classic slipover. Mine is with bust shaping. I have added some bust shaping here because I wanted a good shoulder fit. And what I didn't take into consideration that when I choose a size that is quite snug, and now that I use these vertical bust shaping, it doesn't bring the fabric down like a horizontal bust shaping. It goes over the mountains and down. But when you are adding just width or room for the bust to be, it still lacks some length in the front. So I had already finished it. I worn it a couple of times, and then I realized that I don't really like how it bows in the front. So the front hem bows a little bit, and I decided to rectify that with some short rows. And I have now ripped out the ribbing from the hem, and I am actually now one short row away. I don't know how well you can see it. Actually, it's not very visible, but I have added now like 2.5 centimeters here. I'm just turning in these pearl columns here, and that's a way to hide the short rows. Now I'm continuing straight to the ribbing, so it should hide it really well. So I'm turning 4 times on each side, and it should give me some more length in the front. If I'm holding it like this, maybe you can see how it's now longer here and shorter on the back. And I hope it will transform the fit for the front hem. So this is my hope. It's an experiment. I just told my testers, we have been doing this test knit now for a week, I guess. And I was just like, if someone is nearing the end, hold off until I have tried these short rows for the front hem, so that we would get a perfect fit. Because fit is very important, and when you are adding shaping, it takes away from somewhere else, and these things need to be taken into account. So I will report back next time when we see that if my if this idea worked and if the fit is better. I don't know. I don't think that I took some I tried to take some side profile pictures to show the hem. If I found something, or if I took anything decent, I will put it on the screen. If not, there's no pictures of of this slipover as a ready piece. And also when I was taking those pictures, I was wearing my bra that was not the one that I was supposed to wear. I had like a sports bra or something very like flat, so it didn't really bring out the problem the way that it actually is when I'm wearing it with like a regular more supportive bra. So when I finished this sweater on Tuesday, I had the little yarn balls leftovers there on the floor, and I've been loving using up scraps lately, and I actually talked about that I would like to make like a video series about different things, and scrap yarn is one of the topics, and I've been thinking about it a lot lately, and I think I'll start filming those videos once I have some time on my hands. But I've been very inspired of using leftovers, and because this is like a BFL silk nylon kind of blend, these are actually now the colors that I was using. So I held the gray fluff throughout the project, so the white and lavender are transformed a little bit with the fluff. But I had 20 grams left of each color, and I was like, how can I utilize those, and how can I use these beautiful yarns, because I don't want to collect scraps. And I've been putting almost all my scraps into my crochet blanket, which has grown a lot since last time, but I'm not gonna show it today. I didn't bring it here, but I started making shadow lines mittens because it's been quite chilly. We've had frost in a couple of mornings already, and yeah, I'm definitely getting the sense of the colder weather is coming, so mittens are needed, and this is what I have so far. As you can see, I scaled it down. First of all, I'm using way smaller needles, a tighter gauge. This is an airy gauge, and for mittens, that's not ideal. So I wanted to have a dense DK weight gauge, and I think they're quite fun. What do you think? It still has the same vibe that you are looking forward, changing colors, and I don't know. I just love using up leftovers. I don't know about you, but I think these don't look scrappy in my eyes. Like they look very intentional, and I think that's the best way of using scraps, when you can use them into a project that doesn't look like, oh, but she had some leftovers and she just threw everything together and now it's like mismatched set. So I wanted to have like this curated look, but I am utilizing my leftovers and I am loving it so far. I actually wrote the pattern already. I think I'm gonna make both of the mittens. Now I have like hair ties and everything here. I think I'm making both pairs, and then I will be asking if someone would like to test them. If you are one of those who would love to have a pair of mittens tested, and I think I'm going to release this maybe December or something like that, but I want to make these first. But it's a quick one. DK weight mittens, they just you barely have to work, they just knit themselves. But yeah, I think the scrap yarn video is not going to be the first tutorial kind of video, so I actually wanted to ask your opinion, or not opinion, but my first video is going to be some tips for sweater knitting. And my question to you is that what is something that you would have wanted to know before you started knitting up sweaters? So what's the one thing that you think, now that you know, what is the one thing that you would have told yourself that this is what you should know before you start working on garments or sweaters? So leave the comments down below. I would love to know. I have quite a few already, things that I want to talk about, but if you have something, if I missed something, leave your comment in the description, so that, or in the comment section, so I can include everything that we can think of. So yay. That's going to be the first video, and I actually, should I reveal it or no? This feels a bit, I was contemplating what to call this series of videos, because I want it to be different from my podcast videos. So I was thinking, I actually already chose it, so if you hate this name, don't tell me. I was thinking like the knitting compass, like the knitting compass. guides you through the things that you need to know in knitting. I have already, I have a tattoo, I have a compass tattoo, and that's a little personal thing. And I was thinking of these ideas, and this is what stuck. So knitting compass, it's going, a knitting compass. Why am I saying it so weirdly? Anyways, that's going to be a series of videos, not part of the podcast or the regular programming, but those little tips and tricks videos with different subjects. And the first two videos is going to be like the sweater knowledge kind of class, or not class, sweater, like a sweater tip video, and the second one is going to be some scrap yarn idea video. And those are still to come this year. And I'm also planning on making Vlogmas this year. I had Vlogmas 2 years ago. Last year I didn't do it, but this time I'm coming back with Vlogmas. I know it's not for everyone, but I am I want to, like, now that this is a different time in my life, now I'm at home, so I have more time. I don't think that it will stress me out so much because I am home and I have some time in my hands, and I'm not planning on releasing any big patterns, or the big test knits are going to be over already by the time that December rolls in. So that's to come, that's to come. One more thing, I have one cardigan here that I wanted to show you. I actually did show you the one before last episode. I did show you my cardigan, beginnings of my cardigans. So I had this raglan and cables, garter stitch. I had two separate little starts, and I was just not getting it the way that I wanted. I was creating, and I was like doing little swatches, and I was like, this is not working the way that I want. So I pivoted, I started over, and I came up with a new construction. Or I didn't come up with this construction, I used a different construction for this idea. So garter and cables, that's still very much the thing that I wanted to make, but I decided to go with saddle shoulder construction. Now it's all a tangled mess. I have also my mitten yarn here tangled. How can I show it? It's just the humble beginnings of this cardigan, and I have barely started working on it, but this is what I have. It looks small, but because it is now a set-in sleeve construction, it looks small because the back panel is just like a tight fit across the back. And as I wanted for the raglan lines, I wanted to have like slip stitch details for like a clean edges, and that's what I also did here. Maybe you can see here, here's the back. So when you pick up stitches, you will end up with a slip stitch detail, and I'm really happy about that. So I finished the back panel. It looks also very short because it's garter stitch, and it will grow a little bit. And we have the little tiny saddles here with the braid. And I have, did I show it to you the wrong way around? I don't know. And I have started the front panel. I have picked up stitches from the saddle or the edge of the saddle, and I am just beginning to work the front panel for the right front. So yeah, this is something that I've been creating. This is something that I've been working every chance that I get. It took some math, but I think the math is now down, and I'm just going to be working and waiting to connect the whole cardigan into like a vest form so that I can try it on. But this yarn was also gifted for designing. I got contacted by Villama Global. I don't remember. It was in the summer or something like that. They asked if I would like to try their yarn and maybe design something out of their yarn. And this is their baby alpaca yarn. This is called Alpaquita. And this is a lovely baby alpaca yarn, very soft, and this red gives me a little bit of festive vibes, but this is going to be, I think, a February release. So I'm hoping to work this up in the next month or so, and then maybe start the test already this year, so that we can then have a February release for this cardigan. But it doesn't have a name yet. If you get like an instant vibe of some sort, you can tell me if you have a name suggestion for this. So it's going to have braid details here and braid going on the like a cable braid on the sleeve, and then it's going to be garter stitch. I think I'm going to add the small cable in the side seams for structure, because garter stitch can be very stretchy and I wanted to hold its shape, so that's what we are going for. And yeah, so if you have a name suggestion, I'm all ears. I'd like to know, because some of my patterns have been named by my viewers or my Instagram followers or YouTube followers or subscribers, and this next project, the last one that we are talking about today, is one of those. After the last episode, I don't think that I didn't have this yet, because this just happened on one certain day. When I was finishing up my black and white shadow lines, I was using leftovers, and I ended up ordering one more ball of mohair, because I ran out of mohair in my last or before my last white stripe. So I ran out of mohair. I had to purchase another full ball for one stripe, basically. So I had this mohair ball on my table, and I was working from home, and because I don't use socks in the summer, and this was now like the beginning of October, and I felt like, okay, so the floors are getting chillier, and I was like, my toes are cold. I want something fluffy. I want some fluffy socks. And then I was like, boom, fluffy socks. Like, I need some fluffy socks. And I went straight into the supermarket and got some Novita Nalle, because that's something really readily available here. And it's $3.99 per ball, 100 grams. It's classified like DK or sport DK. It runs 360, I think. 260 meters, sorry, 260 meters per 100 grams. So it's a light DK or sport. And I held it together with my Lang lace that I had here, this natural white. So obviously, because I had the natural white mohair, I wanted to have something light to go with it. So I chose this linen color. This is the color number 061. And I started these socks and finished them the next day. These are snow day socks named by a Instagram friend. She was suggesting this name, and I think it's like, yeah, it's wonderful. I did a little poll, and I think I had four different names, and this snow day got 52% of the votes, and there was like my vote, my my suggestion, I'm not even going to tell you what it was, got 0. So there you go. Apparently I can't name my designs. So this is this lovely little texture, toe up, ends with this little lacy detail, fleegle heel, and fluff, and I think they are divine. But then after I finished one sock, I started my shadow lines, and it took all my time. So I just started, wow, there's like a big tangle here. I just shoved them into a bag, and I have just started the second one, but it's still here. It's still in this place because I haven't done anything about it. But yeah, these probably will be a January release. Everyone needs some fluffy socks in January. If I get them into testing earlier, then might be that. I think I'm still going to release them in January, I think. Although it's just the end of October and socks don't take a long time. We'll see. If you are eager to test, you can drop me a message on Instagram or something like that. But those were all the projects that I wanted to share today, and I will be putting my testers versions of the Shadowline sweater here for you to see. So my end music is going to be with beautiful versions of the Shadowlines sweater. And don't forget that you can get this pattern with the 15% discount with the code Happy Release until Monday the 27th of October. Monday 27th is also the day when we start the Hurma shawl mystery knit along, and I actually now know that there is you can also purchase the pattern. Okay, rewind. If you didn't watch my last episode, I was commissioned to design a shawl for a mystery knit along that is hosted on Facebook. I will put the name of the group here, Yhteisneulonnat by Hand Finished, and it is free to join if you are on Facebook. But if you're not, you can also purchase this pattern for your email, so you get an update every single day, and it is just €3.90. So a very cheap pattern to purchase if you want to participate and you're not on Facebook. So that's an option for you. It's going to be both Finnish and English, and it's going to be a 200-gram shawl with 2 different colors of DK weight yarn, and a triangular shawl that is with textures and slip stitches and lace and all the fun things. And yeah, I'll put a picture here with a little teaser. But if you are interested in joining, I will be linking the pattern that you can purchase the pattern from Hand Finished webshop. I'll link the webshop down in the description, and also I will link the Facebook group if you want to join that way. So I am very excited to start, and I hope you are eager to join. If you are interested at all, or if you're not participating on the West Knits Mystery, then this is a little bit easier and less time-consuming project. So clues come every day for 11 days, starting from Monday, October 27th. That is now everything that I had for you today. So thank you so much for staying this long. I really loved having you here, and I will be talking to you soon. Happy knitting. Until next time. Bye.